another video on the strawberry jam, just as a little bit of a side experiment. So boiling the strawberries, cooking the strawberries too vigorously breaks them down. I just kind of thought, can we braise them in the oven in a little bit of sugar and kind of cook them that way, and then use the juice that comes out of them to make the jam, and the strawberries will be cooked, and then we can just add the strawberries to the jam. So 500 grams of strawberries, 250 grams worth of sugar, which is probably too much sugar, but we'll kind of see. And then the juice will come out of the strawberries, and as it cooks in the oven, so we'll kind of see how it goes, just as an experiment. So lid on, because we don't want evaporation. Well, it's not going to be lid, it's going to be cling film, but a few layers of cling film. And we're going to cook it quite gently at 120, something like that, just for a few hours, nice and slow. And then the strawberries will cook nice and gently, keep the shape. Liquid will come out, and then we might be able to make jam out of that liquid, and then kind of combine everything, and we'll see how we go. Easy peasy, he said. So, I have overcooked strawberries because I went out, and the other one was a little bit too high. So, but not to worry. They are completely overcooked. Completely overcooked. However, it's strange that the sugar hasn't completely melted. That's interesting. So, can I turn that juice into jelly? Well, jam. I think I probably could. Yeah, we'll have a go at turning that juice into jam. I'm just concerned that those strawberries are going to want to fall to bits. I know what we'll do. We'll take the strawberries out and we'll put them on a plate. I don't want them falling to bits anymore. We'll do that. So what shape they've got will hopefully keep, and then we'll take that liquid and we'll boil it up with some pectin. How much was it? We'll probably need a quarter of a packet of pectin, because although which was less fruit, maybe I can't remember. 250 grams worth of sugar that went on, wasn't it? So, do we go on? Is the pectin for the amount of sugar? Yes, it is. It's not for the amount of fruit; it's for the amount of sugar. So we'll use 2 grams of pectin from that pectin that I bought the other day, and we'll see if we can make some jam out of that. It's lovely and clear. See if we can boil it up and make a jam out of that. Some of these have gone too far. And probably need to get some of that liquid off the plate as well. Pour that liquid back into there. That's what we'll do. We'll see how we go. We shall return. But that jam's probably, that's gone too far. I should have stayed in, you see, but no, I had to go out. But anyway, there we go. We live and learn, don't we? So, I think the fruit's a little bit of a write-off, if I'm honest. So let's sacrifice the fruit and strain as much juice out of there as possible. I don't think let's see if we can just make a jam from the strawberry juice, or jelly more than anything. So that can do that, and then that can drain. Get a bit more juice to come out of that. So we'll leave that on there for a minute. We'll let that just excess juice come out of that, and we'll just use that clear, delicious looking liquid. which is kind of let's see a text, but it's basically a cordial, is that. So that's a new way of making a strawberry cordial, which is interesting from my point of view anyway, because the normally way that I make cordials a different way. So that's kind of quite interesting for me, kind of quite interesting within itself. So that is a strawberry cordial. So that's kind of quite interesting without the faff of having to mess around with extracting the juice from the berries and then kind of reducing it down and then adding sugar. Essentially there I've made a strawberry cordial, which is kind of quite interesting in itself. Yeah, so we'll let that drain out a bit more, get some more juice out of that, and then we'll boil that up with some pectin and we'll see how it goes. That's definitely done. So there was whatever liquid was in there and the sugar. I added 2 grams of pectin, and that's certainly now at a jam consistency. I'm not going to put it in a jar because I can't be bothered, and I'm going to be faffing around with it. So I'm going to put it into a glass, and then we'll see how it sets up. It's just a bit of an experiment. I think hopefully the bubbles will clear out of it. So we'll see how it turns out. I think the bubbles will come to the top, and then we'll probably be left with kind of carte. By the bottom of the pan there, it seems to be quite thick. I don't know if that's just because of the sugar, or it might just kind of I don't know. But we'll just have to see. But we'll put it on a jar and we'll see how it sets, and then that'll just be kind of another interesting experiment. So here we are. This is the jelly jam made from the juice. It's been set up overnight, so we can kind of see. So it looks, the bubbles are on top, but that's fine. It's just because I didn't. I was in a bit of a rush. So we can, as you can see underneath, we'll just kind of pull that back a bit. As you can see underneath, it's gone like a really set jelly jam. So that's really set as that. So if we could put some cooked strawberries in that might work. So obviously I cooked the strawberries too much, or maybe I was thinking that maybe the strawberries were a little bit too ripe and they just wanted to fall to bits. But there's food for thought, but I also there's always another thought. So then I was also kind of thinking as well with jam, a lot of it ends up being sugar. So I kind of weighed how much weight there was. Of course, weighed the weight. Of course, I weighed how much weight there was in that, and then I kind of knew there was 250 grams of sugar. So I've put 250 grams of sugar and I melted it with a bit of water to kind of take it to the same kind of volume of liquid. So this is the juice with the pectin, and this is just the same amount of sugar with the same amount of water to take it to the same volume stroke weight as well. So as you can kind of see, we'll get a difference. As you can see, that's a really heavy sugar syrup. Really heavy sugar syrup. So that is what jam looks like without any of the fruit in or the pectin. So that amount of sugar in there is the same amount of sugar in there. So that's kind of quite an interesting thing to see, that what happens, what the difference is between something that's got pectin in, added pectin, and the juice from the fruit. So there we go. So if you're ever kind of thinking that you don't believe there's a lot of sugar in jam, there's that much sugar. So it's a lot of the volume of the sugar of the jam is sugar, and a lot of the thickness, all that kind of stuff. But there you go. That was kind of quite interesting. So, and that's how jam doesn't set if it hasn't got well, it's not jam. But I don't know what is this. I don't know what I'm really trying to say. I'm just kind of curious about the amount of sugar that's in jam. So if you know, that's how much sugar is in that to make that. Yes, I don't know what that means. I don't know. But from my point of view, that's kind of quite interesting. That's kind of quite interesting. But anyway, there we go. So, right, what I was kind of getting at is that I always kind of thought that it was the pectin and the fruit that set the jam, whereas you can see a large proportion of the jam, a lot of the setting agent, it's not a setting agent, but a lot of its viscosity comes from the amount of sugar that's in the jam. That's what I'm kind of getting at. So the pectin doesn't do that much work, because a lot of it comes from the sugar that's in there. There we go. Easy peasy. I don't know what that means. I don't know why I said easy peasy. Yes, there we go. I'll do something with that. I'm going to add it to all the other bits of scraps and bits of jam that I've got in the pan from all the other experiments that I've done this week. It's all kinds of bits of all kinds of other stuff. So all that's going to go into there. We'll mix it all around. We'll give it a boil up, and we'll see if we can make some kind of half decent jam that I'll be able to use for cooking and cakes and that type of thing. I will give it away if it's all right. If it's not, I'll use it in something, as always.